Genesis 4:4. And God had respect unto Abel and his offering. And God had respect unto Abel and his offering. I'm talking to someone today that is seeking the face of God. You've been praying, you've been worshiping, you've been giving your tithes, you're giving offerings, and you're wondering, what's going on? Why does it seem like my mountain is still standing? Why is there nothing happening the way I'm expecting it to happen? Why does it seem like God is far away? The word of the Lord said, God had respect unto Abel and his offering. What does that tell us? It tells us that Abel did something that made God honor him. The word respect there is a word that means to consider, to look, to gaze upon someone in a way to help them, in a way to spare them from the coming tragedy or trouble. But it seems like you're giving and yet God is not sparing you. It seems like you're doing all you're meant to do and nothing is happening. Well, the word of the Lord also tells us that there are different types of people that had given God different offerings, but God did not respect that offering. God did not bless them. In fact, they lost their lives. We can see people like Hophni and Phinehas. We can see even Cain himself. We can see as well as Ananias and Sapphira. So what will make God respect your offering? What will make God honor you? What can you do to make sure that every time you give an offering, you pray a prayer, you pay your tithes, whatever you do before God, He can look at you with respect. He can look at you, help you, honor you, promote you, change that circumstance around you, hear your prayer. What can you do? When you look at these scriptures I've just mentioned and you look at everything, especially when you go further into the Word of God and you begin to understand what the Lord will have you do, you begin to know that one thing Abel did was according to the law. He brought the firstlings, he brought the first fruit, he brought the one that opened the womb, he brought a fat offering, he brought the best. Always give God your best. Now, if you give God your best and God doesn't answer, then it's a matter of time and you will see what God will do. The other thing I noticed about giving God an offering was that you don't just give God your best, but you give God what He asks you for. A lot of people go about giving God something strange, something He never asked. That's another thing. You have to think about it. This money, this prayer, this tithe, everything you're doing before God, that sacrifice, is it something the Lord has inquired and asked you to bring? I pray that the Lord will honor you and respect your sacrifice.